So the next one is actually quite easy. What we do now is to find out, now we need to connect our business targets, the acquisition process, with online marketing activities. To make it a bit easy, we start with what kind of online activities are we doing so far. So Bob is sitting down and decides, all right, I have 4 different categories where I see my online marketing activities. The first thing is his website itself. And on his website, he's updating the content, of course, for SEO. He has nice pictures to convince the customer and to present the product. He has a modern design, a good navigation. He has TripAdvisor content, he has Facebook content, and he has a newsletter subscription. So that's what's happening on his website. He then thinks about search engines. He's trying to optimize his content quite regular. So that is one of his activities. He's updating his content. He is trying to get more external links to his website. He's updating his keywords quite regularly and tries to optimize that as well. And he's using Google Places. Well, that's what he thinks. And then he thinks about, okay, online marketing, what else am I doing? And he's sending out a newsletter quarterly. He has a Facebook page, a TripAdvisor account, and he's trying to work with Google AdWords. And because we're in the tourism industry, the online distributors are quite important as well, because that's how we sell our products as well. And he's working with TXA partners. He is using Wotif, and he's using the regional tourist offices. So that's his way to distribute his product. And, well, up to you again. Please write down or please fill out the next slide, and that's page 4. And just make a list of things what you are doing at the moment, depending on like website, search engines, online marketing, and distribution. All right, let me know if you have questions. Good. Yeah, excellent. All right. So the next step is, now it's getting a bit tricky now. Now we are connecting the acquisition process that we have defined before with online marketing activities. We use the current ones you're using right now because that's what you have on your sheet as well. But Bob thinks that's not enough. I actually don't know what's available. So he's using a list, and this list is on page 7 of the workbook. It is probably easier for you if you use the printout to have a look on the list, so that's page 7. This is a list, and you got this list through some random TQ workshops. And this list is covering all the different activities he potentially could use. This list also provides information about how much time you have to spend or in what kind of time frame you actually have to do or work with those activities. For example, email marketing. If you work with email marketing and you're sending out a birthday email, that is something you have to do every day. At least you have to check it every day if someone has if there's a birthday that day. If you're sending out a newsletter, it is something you have to do monthly, quarterly, annual, or maybe just seasonal. If you talk about Twitter. If you're using Twitter, or if you think you would like to, or if you want to use Twitter, Twitter is something you have to do daily or at least weekly. So he gets now an understanding of what kind of activities are available. That's the first thing. So please cover first on this list here to see what's available. That's what he's doing first. And now he is connecting different activities with the customer acquisition process. So that is actually starting on page 5. Actually, it's page 6 in your workbook. And I just explain how it works. He's connecting to each of his acquisition process steps different online marketing activities. And now you can use whatever you think that supports this process. In his case, he's thinking, okay, if someone thinks about planning a trip, how can I influence my customers at that point, at that stage? For example, if he would have an international or domestic online press release, a customer would actually maybe think about planning a trip because he's reading that press release. If he has quarterly news about upcoming local tours or regional attractions, maybe they got this newsletter somehow and they start thinking about planning a trip. Yeah, he thinks about, if I have a Twitter channel and I talk about, I have something going on and my focus is on fun seekers, people who like to adventure something, or who like to, get some kind of adventures. Yeah, maybe they are following me, and that's the way how I can influence my customers, my potential customers, at this stage of thinking of planning a trip. And he's going through the whole process of his acquisition process and searches for activities he could potentially use to support this process. So searching and finding is very close together. So he thinks about, all right, I probably can't really support the searching process because I don't know how he is searching, but I can support the process of, if he is searching, he needs to find me. So what can I do that people find me when they search? And he thinks about online ads. He's buying in for any newsletter campaigns. He's using international distributors. Yeah, maybe they're using hotel.com to find accommodation in Babinda. He thinks about SEO and updating his website content more regularly so that his ranking is going up, so the people who search online on Google actually will find his website. Yeah, he's thinking about a national and international SEM campaign to be out there if people search. In the case they search, that they find his website. In the next step, when the customer is coming to his website and is starting to analyze the product, and he needs to convince the customer to book or to buy an activity or whatever it is in your case, he thinks, hold on, if I have a website in a third language, maybe French, because my customers are coming from Europe, maybe they're more attracted to my product if I have a French landing page. Yeah, maybe I should start a YouTube channel with testimonials and I explain that how good this product is to convince the customer to book. Maybe he's thinking about Twitter and Facebook and with local updates about tours and activities in the region, so people see if they stay, they actually can experience a lot in the same region. So different ideas and things to support this process. Same with receiving the confirmation email and arriving and staying. What can he do to support this process? For example, he has a flyer at the reception where he's promoting his newsletter to say, hey, please subscribe, and this is what we are going to send to you. He has a reminder email, and he's putting more information about his Facebook account, about what they can do while they stay. And yeah, he's sending them actually a text message about what's going on in Babinda just 2 days before he actually comes and stays, to somehow support this process. And in the last one, he sees, all right, if he's leaving, I'm actually not doing much. I have a thank you email, and I try to motivate the customer to go to my Facebook and TripAdvisor page. And then finally, it makes click in his head. He thinks, actually, I should do something to stay in touch with my customers. Because if I stay in touch with my customers, I actually have a better possibility or better chances to influence the first step of my process again. Once they start again, think about doing or planning a trip, and I am in touch with them, I can influence this step. So he's closing the loop of his whole acquisition process, and he's trying to be as creative as possible to find activities that support this process. So that's something what we have to do now as well. For each of your acquisition process steps, use this list on page 7 and go through and say, all right, for your first acquisition process step, let's say, if in the case that's thinking of planning a trip or thinking of doing anything, what kind of activities could I use to support this step? And then you go through email marketing. Can I support this step with email marketing? Pay-per-click or SEM? Can I support this process, this step with SEM? And then you go through this list until to the very end, website process optimization. And think about, do you see a way in your business, in your company, how you can support this step? And then you go to the next one. Searching and finding, for Bob's example. We go through this list again and find out, is email marketing somehow supporting this process? Can I support it? Don't think about how much it would cost, or how complicated it is, or how much effort it would be, or how strange this idea might be. That's not what we are trying to find out. First, what we need to do is getting as many ideas as possible to support this process. That's a bit tricky to get ideas and to find out what is supporting. After this, we'll find out, does it make sense what you just thought about, and how is your priority? But that's the next step. Right now, we have to find out how can we support each step, each acquisition process step with our current or any other activities. At least it's all planned.
I'll just hand it over.
Yeah. New activities, but that's not necessary. Yeah. You could. What kind of activities could you use to support a customer while he's in this process? Like he's thinking about planning it ahead. If he knows your business because out of the newsletter, for example, that could be a way to influence the customer at that stage. If he has seen an article about your business in the newspaper, that will be or a referral, or an agent. So maybe because of that agent, he is starting to think about planning a trip. That could be a way, and that works for all the different, for each of those steps. Yeah.
Where it shines, Queensland shines on me. Where Australia shines.